Thank you. Wow, what an inspiring morning. Who's feeling inspired? Yeah. And who's learnt something new? Yeah, excellent. Well, the good news is that that's not going to stop. My name's Bea, and I run the design and innovation team at Good Things Foundation, and I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you about why we're doing the next session, which is the design studios bit, which is something that anyone who has come to one of our conferences before will know is a slightly new thing. So we're very excited to be doing it. And I think the reason that I'm really excited about it is because it's a chance for us to share something with you, but also to hear from you. And there are loads and loads of good things about Good Things Foundation, but I think one of the things that I love most is obviously the online centres network and the way that we work with all of our network partners and other community organisations, and also the funders who help us to fund you to do the amazing work that you're doing. I think it's the partnership that we have with you that makes Good Things Foundation and the online centres network more than the sum of its parts. It's what makes us more than just a digital inclusion programme or more than an ESOL programme. And I think, as Helen was talking about earlier, it's what helps to make us a movement for social change, changing people's lives right across the country and now right across the world, which is very exciting. I hope that you will recognise when I say that we work really, really hard to try to listen to you and to listen to the problems and challenges that you're facing on the ground, and when you're kind of reporting to us the challenges that the people who you're supporting are facing every day. One of the themes that you will probably have already picked up on from this conference is innovation. Let's not call it that, maybe let's call it problem solving. Solving old problems in a new way and sometimes solving new problems. And we're running these design studios not because we think that you guys need to innovate more. In fact, it's quite the opposite, because I think when we're out and we're in an online centre and we're seeing the amazing work that you're doing, what's really, really clear to us is that problem solving is part of your DNA and innovating is part of your DNA. When somebody new walks through an online centre with a problem like being evicted or needing to claim universal credit for the first time, which I know that is something that's probably familiar to quite a lot of you in the room right now, that's exactly what you're doing, coming up with new ways to solve these new problems. Sometimes, and one of the things that me and my colleagues have heard an awful lot from being out in online centres over the last 6 months, is that those immediate problems, helping somebody who's walking through the door, are what are the kind of most pressing problems to solve. And what that means is because you're working so hard to help that person and to help them get on and sort them out of a challenging situation, that it can sometimes be hard to focus on some of the longer term problems or the things that might directly affect you and your colleagues. And that might be searching for new funding, it might be finding a new premises that you've got to work from, and it might be losing or recruiting valuable staff and volunteers. So the idea with the design studios is that we wanted to share with you some of the techniques that we use for problem solving when we're solving really big, long-term, knotty problems, to see if they work for you, to see if it's something that you can take back to your daily work and employ some of the techniques that we've been using, to help you work through some of small problems, but also big ones that you might be facing in the future. Now, don't worry, well, actually, I will start by introducing who's going to be leading you. So if I can get Tim, Emily, Hafsa and Pete to stand up or come forward and give everyone a wave. And where's Emily? There's Emily. So these guys are going to be your facilitators. And if you take a look at your badge, there will be a colour on your badge which designates one of the groups that you're going to go to. There are 3 groups on the upstairs level, and if you're in the green group, you'll be on this lower level as you walk out. So we're going to have a coffee break first, don't worry. So make sure you fuel up, have a coffee. And after that coffee, head off to whichever area you've got on your cards. And we're going to give you a fictional problem to work through. So it's not going to be something that you're kind of dealing with immediately. It's a fictional problem. It's a bit of an experiment. So when you come back, tell us if it's worked, tell us if it's useful, tell us what could be improved. Most importantly, have fun and don't hold back if you've got any questions. And we'll see you back here in an hour. Brilliant. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much, Bea. Thank you to our panel. Brilliant. Okay, so we've got most people back in the room now. So we're just going to find out what you felt about those sessions and get a bit of feedback. So I'm going to start with you, Tim, all right? And there you go. So what happened in your group?
So
who was in Tim's group?
There was a few.
Okay.
So first bit of the kind of observation of the session was it was very chaotic, but actually we got quite a lot done, I think, through the pairings. I think we were extremely ambitious to try and get all of that done within the time that we had, but it was an experiment. This was all about testing. So one of the things that we wanted to explain at the end, which I don't think many people got a chance to, is that the process that we've just been through is something that we do to try and generate ideas. Now, we went through that process to generate the idea that we would like to share different tools and techniques for coming up with ideas and kind of time-saving ideas and things like that. And this today was the next step after this activity, which is how do you test it? How do you work out whether that's a good idea, whether anyone's actually interested in it, and whether it works? So that's something that we'd love to, if this was good, if you got a good taster for that session and you'd love to do more of those kind of sessions, let us know, because the next things we'll be looking at how can you really quickly prototype and test ideas to get real feedback to know whether it's worth carrying on with it and things like that. So again, trying to stop wasting time. But yeah, the other thing was the original plan was kind of to stop after every activity, and I know in my group everyone just got on with it and kind of motored through, which was brilliant because loads of stuff got out of it really, really quickly. So yeah,
fantastic.
Perfect.
Okay, so where's Pete?
Who's he?
Excellent. Who was in Pete's group?
Yeah. So it was really good. It was rushed a little bit, I think. My group were unruly, undisciplined. Someone said I was too scouse at one point. That was a bit rough. But I think they're all laughing. You know who said it. I think the point that we were trying to make about how you can do something quick. So we were running late when we went in. We only had about half an hour to do it, and we still came up with, I think, here's my maths now, there was about 30 in our group. Each person did about 3 ideas each. That's like 1 million ideas or something. And we've finessed them down to probably 10 or 15 ideas that we can take forward for a conference next year. That's in half an hour's work from us. If we can try that stuff out back at the ranch, like I was saying to my group, then potentially we can get some stuff that is useful to take to funders and say we know this works because we've tried it and we've gone through this process to get there. So I found it valuable. I think we're going to take a lot out of it, and thank you for your contribution, everyone.
Brilliant, thanks very much. Hafsa.
Hello. So I don't know what was wrong with you two, but ours was not unruly at all. Whoever was in my group put their hands up. It was like a military operation. No, it was really good. Again, rushed. Obviously, there would be more conversation and coaching and idea generating. I think probably the 2 things I'd take away is somebody said to me that they liked that it was just simple things. So like one of the things they said was turning a problem into a question or an opportunity was such a simple thing that they didn't really think about necessarily before, and it really helped them reframe what they were working on. And then also what I think I enjoyed was that there were so many more problems that were broken down about attending a conference that I didn't think about, and people were really good at focusing on them, whether it was finding a conference that was relevant for them, because that was the biggest problem that they could find, or it was actually that they have to give 3 to 6 months notice in order to be able to get there in their own institution, and actually that's a real problem. So it was really interesting breaking that down and the different layers of opportunities there are for change, rather than just the problem as a whole. But yeah, I mean, I can't speak for my whole team, but I found it interesting anyway.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So Emily, where's Emily?
I'm not going to throw up there.
Great.
No, I don't know if I can.
Come on, you could pass it on.
Oh dear. So I have no idea what happened in our session. Who was in my session? I think we got through loads, and I, like Hafsa, I think pretty good timekeeper. Me and Gabby looked at the situation and thought, right, we're already behind schedule, let's reevaluate this. And I shouted, and they, over the noise, because there was so much noise, and I hope that was positive noise, I said to people, that might have been quite hard to come up with your 3 biggest frustrations. They'd no, that was very easy, very easy. So
And out of interest, what were they?
I actually don't know. There was no time to. I don't know what. I don't know what was happening. They were having their conversations, and hopefully people came away with some good ideas each. So I think it was brilliant, because I think that people just got on with it. They hopefully understood, and I didn't use too much jargon. So the design and the user thing, and I hopefully gave them some tools to take away and use back at their centre. And so I really look forward to seeing the feedback and what we can do next. So
Fantastic.
Thank you for everyone in my team.
Thanks so much, Emily. So do use the hashtag to provide more feedback on those sessions, questions, comments, what you feel you learned. All of that is really helpful. While we've been sitting in here, you'll be very relieved to know that they have been setting up lunch outside. So let's go get some lunch. Some brilliant people coming this afternoon. Please do have a look at the agenda for this afternoon and think about the questions that you've always wanted to ask. Because we've got the Mayor's office, we've got lots of people coming. It's your chance to ask the question that you feel needs to be asked. All right, see you all back here after lunch. Thank you.